Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The Europa League continues tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. In case you've somehow missed the news, it's 3:30 on a Tuesday afternoon. A bit bizarre. It feels completely and utterly wrong, and the stadium is going to be in a dire state of affairs, I believe. But we'll wait and see how it goes. It's the Europa League anyway. I'm excited for it. And we're now into the double header against Ferencvaros, which on paper should be Celtic's most winnable games. Now, if we've learned anything from the past, it's not quite as simple as that with Celtic. Before we go any further with the video, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button below. It really does help out the channel, especially in these trying times coming back from the international break. If you've noticed, we are slowly dying a death on YouTube here. So we need all the help and support we can get. Hit like and subscribe down below. Anyway, let's talk about Celtic. And it's quite weird coming to you on a Monday to record this video rather than, a Wednesday or even the Thursday to do my preview. It's so early in the week. Today I should be sitting down doing the back pages. We're just off the back of doing the Celtic the Thunder podcast yesterday. So we spoke about Ferencvaros a little bit in that, and it's time for me to sit down and condense it into a 10-minute video by myself. It's weird. This 3:30 on a Tuesday afternoon stuff is truly once in a lifetime. I hope it is anyway. It's created such a sort of palaver for Celtic fans who can't get the time off work, who won't be out of, studying or whatever. There's a lot of people who ultimately not be able to make it to the game tomorrow. It's not sold out. Celtic Park is not a sellout tomorrow afternoon, and that's to be expected. Now, I hope that people on the opposition side don't try and create this narrative that we're not going to watch your great leader Ange and all the rest of it, because it's just impossible for a lot of people to get to this game tomorrow in such short notice as well. In a post-pandemic world when people are desperate for money and they have to work, it's just not ideal for a lot of people, and the stadium will probably lay empty in certain sections. What is there, 53,000 season ticket holders? I can guarantee you that probably a good 5,000 at least will not be able to make it to the game tomorrow afternoon, and that's not ideal for a European game when you expect and you want the atmosphere to be at its biggest and best. It is quite a shame, but we've been put in a situation where there's not much we could do about it. COP26 is taking over Glasgow. That's going to be a farce. So this is the first sort of, for Celtic fans, this is the first experience of the farce that is. And it's even more annoying because going into these European games, it's great. You've got your 8 o'clock kick-off. It allows you time to get in from work or whatnot, or whatever you're doing during your day. Go out for a couple of drinks and you're turning up to the stadium with a glow. But the majority of people will probably be getting away from their works early and having to go straight to Celtic Park or make a quick entrance to Celtic Park as the ball gets kicked. It's not ideal. It's not the best scenario. But listen, Celtic fans, as we know, will be up for this. We understand the pressure of this game. I think the team and the manager has spoke about the importance of this game. This is sort of all or nothing in regards to Europa League qualification anyway. We don't win this game, you can say goodbye to the last 32, last 16, however it works nowadays, of the Europa League. I think Conference League would become a very, very realistic conversation if we don't win tomorrow at home. But we've got to manage our expectations. We've got to manage the realistic possibility of us of losing the game as well. So let's talk about all of that. So, yeah, Ferencvaros, when the group was drawn, was obviously the team that we looked at to go, yeah, that's the one we need to get 6 points off of. That's the one we need to win games. And especially at Celtic Park, we need to win that game. But let's not forget that it was only a little over a year ago that Ferencvaros knocked us out of the Champions League qualifiers at Celtic Park. They went on to qualify for the competition, the Champions League. We were stuck in the Europa League. They gave themselves a reasonably good showing against some of Europe's biggest teams. I'm sure they were in a group with Barcelona, Juventus and someone else. And we were stuck in the Europa League getting embarrassed off Prague, AC Milan, and Lille. Well, not so much Lille, but we're getting embarrassed. Prague beat us 4-1 twice while they're in the Champions League, giving a reasonably good account of themselves. This season, they were once again a team who got to a further stage than us in the qualifying. They were unlucky to be knocked out in the playoff round of the Champions League. And we, made life difficult for ourselves against the likes of Michelin. So, you're looking at Ferencvaros side here. Yeah, it's very well and good on paper saying we can go and beat this, but there has to be an expectation there that is limited, because we have been so guilty as Celtic fans in the past to go into games against the likes of Copenhagen, Ferencvaros, Cluj, clubs like that. We've went into games in Europe, we're going, aye, this is the ones we should be winning, and we don't. And then there is this sort of unknown toxic atmosphere after of where we are as a club, and people start throwing up all the hypotheticals and all the, it really does become quite a weird atmosphere. And you certainly feel that in the stadium. So I think there has to be a level that we understand tomorrow. This is a very difficult team to beat. This isn't a group of mugs. These are a decent enough side. We're obviously off the back of our league win against Motherwell at the weekend. A very impressive performance, and you're looking at a side that I think will remain close to the same side that played there. We'll come on to the starting 11 later in the video. But look, I'm looking for more of the same from Celtic, and I'm looking for us to try and control the game, control the pace of the game, and dictate what's going to happen, rather than letting Ferencvaros get too comfortable. If you remember when Ferencvaros came to Celtic Park a couple of years ago, we were all over them. We should have had more than the one goal we got that day. We should have won the game, but we weren't clinical. We weren't good enough in the final third, and we weren't all there, and that was the real sort of, that should have been the eye-opener to what was to come with Neil Lennon that season. A lot of people like myself were kind of naive to it, said it was unlucky, and we'll move on from it. That was a real eye-opener that day, and Ferencvaros now know what to do when they come to Celtic Park. For us, I just want to see us play with that same confidence we did at the weekend. The same sort of solidarity at the back as well. I want to see us play out from the back with a bit of confidence, but I want to see us being able to take on opposition attacks with a little more confidence. And Motherwell didn't do too much at the weekend, but when they did, I thought we were okay. There was a couple of dodgy moments here and there, but we're showing real signs of improvement. And then now this is the big test. This is the big test for players like Starfelt. When we're saying he's getting better, we need to see that in a European game as well. We need to see that against a higher quality of opposition. So this is a big game, and I'm hoping that we can do the same as what we've done against Motherwell, and we can play with that sort of confidence in ourselves. And hopefully in the final third, we're just all electric again. We've been brilliant there. Jota's bang on form. Obviously, Kyogo's just back. I'm hoping Abada picks himself up a little bit in this game. But, that front three can cause a lot of damage to this Ferencvaros side. That's plain to see. That should be able to happen. So I'm hoping that everything's there and put together, and we just bring it all together in the midfield. From back to front, I'm hoping for a very sort of duplicate performance of what we've seen against Motherwell, despite obviously Ferencvaros being a better side. So let's talk about the opposition then very quickly before we get on to the team and score predictions for this game. Peter Stuger is the manager right now of Ferencvaros. I've said this about 3 times in the channel this week, over the couple of channels. I never realised he was their manager, former Borussia Dortmund manager, former FC Köln manager as well. He was nightmarish at Dortmund, to say the least, but he is finding himself quite successful at Ferencvaros at the moment. The run of games, the last 5, there it is on screen, they have won 3 of their last 5 games. The losses coming against Real Betis in the Europa League, and the other loss actually coming at the weekend to a mid-table side, and quite a surprise defeat for Ferencvaros, but it happens to the best of us. They now find themselves second in the Hungarian Premier Division, whatever it's called, I'm not too sure. They find themselves second in the table right now, 1 point behind the leaders, Kisvarda. Yeah, they're a solid side, and they're kind of like Celtic in that sense over in domestic football, where they are the sort of, the Premier green and white side, but they're always up there challenging for that title as of recent times. Of course, becoming familiar with the Champions League sort of layout and Europa League layout. But Peter Stuger, a man who's been about, he's had success places, he's had little success places, Dortmund being the prime example. And they've got the players to hurt us, we know that, and they've got players all over that park. They've got that sort of myth of a player in Marco Marin. Don't know how he's been doing, but remember back in the day he was the thing. They've got, I think Bolly, his name is, that the guy who scored against us. They've got a couple of players who can hurt us, and they have a real physicality around their game as well. So they're not going to make life easy for Celtic. Let's be sure on that. But I'm hoping that we see the absolute masterclass of Dortmund's Peter Stuger. Some of the worst football I've ever had to sit through. He came in to steady the ship in the 6 months following the sacking of Peter Bush of Dortmund, and the ship well and truly sank. But it looks as though he's got on from then, and I'm not going to. That was like what, nearly 5 years ago now. So I think that to kind of compare him to that time would be a bit harsh on him. And obviously he's getting a decent write up there as well. So Ferencvaros are a side that can definitely hurt us. So for my team prediction then, as I said, I don't see too many changes coming from the side that played Motherwell at the weekend. The one big change that has to be made is at the left back position. Bolingoli can't play. He's not registered for Europe. I don't know. Look, I love Ange. Absolutely adore you, Ange. But if you made that decision, fuck me. What a daft decision that was. Bolingoli's not registered. He cannot play. Adam Montgomery dropped out of the side at the weekend because of an injury picked up in training. Will he be back in time? This isn't Thursday. There's been a little recovery time in between. I think this could be the big start for Liam Scales. I really do. I think this could be the second time we'll see him as a Celtic player, but the first in a start in a big game. And we have, over the past sort of 4 or 5 years since I've been doing this on YouTube, there's been so many people who have been thrown into debuts in big games, in situations where we should have had more depth, we should have had more cover, and we've had to put trust in younger guys. Scales, I'm hoping for the best if he does, if Montgomery's not back. I actually think I might prefer Scales over Montgomery for this game. I'm not entirely sure, but Scales is my prediction for the left back position. Apart from that, I don't see any changes from the side that played Motherwell at the weekend. The team that I have on screen now is the team I expect to see. And it's a team that I expect to see hopefully win the game. In the middle of the park, that Rogic and Turnbull question mark is still there. I'm not saying because I've got them as my predicted starting 11 here that's my ideal midfield. I still believe Rogic and Turnbull can't really play together. But what other options do we have? You know what I mean? So once again, we're in this sort of predicament where we've not had a great deal of preparation for moments like this. But that is my team there on the screen for you. Let me know what you think in the comments. And the score prediction, the part that everybody comes to so they can meme for when we're undoubtedly battered tomorrow, or post any European game. Like I said, something like Leverkusen 2, Celtic 0 the last time we got battered 4-0. I do think Celtic need to understand that this is a big winner. It's Conference League at most for us, so we need to win this game. I'm going to go for a Celtic win. I'm going to go for 2-0 to Celtic. Yes, clean sheet in a European game for Celtic. I know, what am I thinking? But I don't want to say 2-1 because I think we might be a bit clearer than a 1-goal win. So I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0 is my prediction. Let me know your predictions and thoughts in the comments below. It's been a pleasure as always. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.